Shalom. First, I start off by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Rakatash. Double honors to teachers, sellers, and the boss of Great Millstone. Likewise, brothers will know this truth. Fifthly, fearlessly feeding the sheep, and two brothers and sisters tuning in. Shalom. Today's lesson's title: Who would pity a charmer bitten by a serpent? Okay, and this charmer happens to be, 2/3 of our people that think that they understand, the serpent, who happens to be Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man, who uses a whole lot of sleight of hands, speaking smooth words, making promises, and using what he has, taken by the sword as a means to get Jakes, to fall into all his snares and his traps. Now I'm going to show you a short clip today, and of course we're going to go into the scriptures in regards to what happened to this young Jake in this video that you're going to see here. But let's go into the book of Ecclesiastes 12, starting where it reads, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away." So of course we know Esau uses the strategy of getting you to drop your guard, to trust into him, and this is the reason why he tries to come in that spirit of, we have, similarities, we can, do things together, but at the end of the day, despite all of his promises, despite the fact that he come to you in a humble spirit, a worldly humble spirit that is, he cannot be trusted, and Jake just don't seem to learn. Take a look at this.
Tonight we have a story that will puzzle some and spark fury in others.
Yeah, especially during a time of being kind and thinking about others. A 19-year police veteran in Mount Vernon has kidney failure, and he is on dialysis.
Now, if you know anyone who has had this, you know what it means. But in his case, his doctors say he can work on light duty.
But here's the rub. The Mount Vernon Police Department says he can't work, and he's now being terminated December 31st, and that means no health insurance.
Happy holidays. Not. Here's Marcus Solis.
I do 9 hours of dialysis 7 days a week to maintain my health. Without that, I wouldn't survive.
Derek Williams describing his declining health, surrounded by retired Mount Vernon police officers supporting their brother in blue. Williams is a 19-year veteran, a former member of the Elite Emergency Service Unit. In 2020, he contracted COVID after months of working double shifts.
Derek's character caused him to come in and work and support this city and the residents of this city during the worst pandemic that we've had.
The department has classified Williams' kidney failure as a non-job related illness and stopped paying him when he became too sick to work. Doctors have cleared the 45-year-old for desk duty, and he's just 6 months shy of qualifying for a reduced pension. That request has been denied.
I begged for my job back. I begged to come in with every hours that I can capable of doing. And I was told there's no light duty for me.
Earlier this month, Williams received a termination letter effective December 31st, which would not only end his career, it would cut off his health insurance.
I just feel like they have no empathy, they have no compassion.
To be just thrown like in the garbage, like it's over, it's ridiculous.
To be blunt, if you're terminating his employment, you're terminating his life in so many words.
Mount Vernon says it cannot comment on personnel matters. Williams has an application pending for a state disability pension and is on a kidney transplant waiting list. In Mount Vernon, Marcus Solis, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
And as you saw in that clip, that man had spent a good portion of his life as a police officer, serving, this nation, or serving the city that he was employed by. And at the end of it, they deny him medical benefits. In fact, they terminate him prior to him retiring and, getting that partial retirement. You can see he's setting up, trying to go after them, in a lawsuit, because he knows, he was done wrong. They did him wrong, but he had his hope in this place. He trusts in the system. And this is something that is a common thing to Jake. Let's go into the book of 1 John 2, Starting with verse 15, it reads, Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Now, of course, we have to pay our bills, and stuff like that. But what it is that keeps Jake's them, in the mindset of Babylon, America continuity, is that they love, what the so-called white man can offer them. Okay, these are the things that the white man would like to offer you. If you work hard enough, if you do this and you do that, you can achieve this. You can be the mayor of a city. You can have your own private jet. Lots of cars, lots of women. Be very popular on this earth. These are things that Esau pushes in front of our people, and our people strive for those things. They don't strive for righteousness. Continuing, it says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of power abideth forever. Okay, so here it is. You're trapped here in Great Babylon, America, where being poor is shameful. Okay, being in a destitute state is shameful. You're often overlooked. Okay, and specifically our people, who've had a major disadvantage in comparison to these Edomites and these other tribes. Okay, don't like the idea of, not being able to achieve what Esau has set up as a mean or as a standard, okay, to live here in Great Babylon, America. This is why Proverbs go into it. When you go into Proverbs 3 and verse 31, it says, envy thou not the oppressor. Who's the oppressor? Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man, and choose none of his ways. Okay, and we see what happens when Jake do get the airplanes and the women and the cars and the big mansions and the popularity, okay, that Esau promises you if you worship him. Okay, what comes out? And well, right now we're looking at a P. Diddy case. Okay, we thought that it was his music talent and the fact that he managed Jakes that made him all that money, but as we can see here, there was a sacrifice. Okay, he is a charmer that was bitten by the serpent, and right now he's serving a lot of time in there at the serpent's prison system. Okay, let's go into the book of Luke 9 and start at verse 22, because this is really what we're all about. Okay, this is what the men of the Lord are all about. It says, saying, the Son of Man must suffer many things and be rejected of the elders and chief priests and scribes, and be slain, and be raised the third day. And he said to them all, if any man will come after me, this is the Mashiach speaking here, who the word when he called Jesus, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. Okay, so this Jake isn't gonna, who has been denied, he's suffering from kidney failure. Basically now he's on the list for to get a kidney replacement, which any of those kidney replacement, they're going to go to the more wealthier people or go to the Edomites first. Okay, and there's also a blood type, compatibility. There's a whole lot of things that goes into it, and they said to him, what? We don't think that this was job related. Basically they screwed Jake over, man. Okay, they screwed him over. It says, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it. So Jake is not thinking about being a servant of the Mashiach. He's not looking at this as maybe this could be a judgment. Maybe he needs to rethink, the things that he's been doing in his life. No, he's looking towards the master, the oppressor, and saying, I serve you well. You promised me all these things if I worship you. Why aren't you fulfilling your promises? Because he doesn't know that the oppressor is his enemy, Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man. It says, for what is a man advantage if he gain the whole world and lose himself or be cast away? So all of this ain't gonna mean anything, okay? Especially if you're a Hebrew Israelite, okay? So-called blacks and Americans and Latinos and Hispanics, okay? It's not gonna mean anything because we have a different heritage from the heathen nations. We have a different heritage, okay? It's coming, okay? Right now we're in that state of being low, okay? But we're going to be risen up into the glorious state that we're supposed to be in. Continuing, it says, for whosoever shall be ashamed of me and of my words, of him shall the Son of Man be ashamed, when he shall come in his own glory and in his Father's and of the holy angels. Okay, so when the Mashiach, when he gets dominion of the earth, when he returns and destroy Esau's setup that he has here on this earth, okay, and he's in his glory, okay, those that prophesy, in the name of Yahweh Shai, those that reverence the Mashiach are going to get a reward beyond our imagination. Okay, because why? He's getting reward from the Father, the Almighty. All right, Yahweh. So this is what our inheritance is about. It's in a glorious state that's incomprehensible to the mere mortals that's on this earth. Okay, what Esau is offering you is going to be considered like shit. Okay, shit in the kingdom. Okay, it says, but I tell you a truth: they'll be standing here, which shall not taste of death till they see the kingdom of power. So that okay, you have brothers right now that standing there in the presence of the Mashiach that are here today that will not die. Okay, and this is the mindset that many of us walk with, the fact that we're not going to die before the Mashiach returns. Okay, we think that we're just going to go from this state that we're in right into the immortal state. Okay, and that's the mindset that we have. Okay, this is Ecclesiastes 7. The 7 reads, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroy the heart. This is the mindset that we're in. Yeah, you can make an argument that Esau did some things for you, in life. You can always, say, he provided this and that, but did he? My mindset is now he didn't provide anything. That was a Mashiach. Okay, that was Yahweh Shai who provided everything. Esau didn't do shit because Esau was given everything from the Lord Yahweh Shai. So basically, you have to go to the originator, and the originator is the Lord Yahweh Shai. This is Proverbs 21:12, and it reads, the righteous man wisely considered the house of the wicked. We're always looking at Esau. We can never trust him. When you look at his veterans, man. His veterans, you can use them as an example. We're not even look at these other people that are homeless and drugged out and everything, okay, and that are being ignored or being terminated, for no reason. Okay, let's just take a look at the veterans, the sentries, the soldiers, the ones that defended or went overseas and served this country's interests. And now what? Look at them, all homeless. Okay, he didn't even take care of them. So come on, Jake, you really believe that you meant something to Esau because you served 21 years or almost 20 years in the police force? See, they shit on you, and we see this happen even in to this man's military today, that they're doing this. It says, but power overthrow the wicked for their wickedness, and this is what we're waiting on. We're waiting for Yahweh to return to overthrow this man. That's what we desire. Let's close with the book of Psalms 146, and verse 3 reads, put not your trust in princes, nor in the Son of Man, in whom there is no help. There is no help from Esau. Okay, there's only help from Yahweh Shai. No help from Esau, so don't put your trust in this man, ever. So this has been Who Would Pity a Charmer Bitten by a Serpent? Jake, y'all need to learn. Lord willing, like was edified, let's go away, giving all great honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, Shalom.